get more and more hair every time we record one of these. It makes me so happy.
Alright, let me see if I can get this here. Alright, I got the comment in. Someone did have something for me to, like their theory that they want me to bring up, so I do have that too.
Sure. I'm assuming that's you.
The one watching, yeah, it's me right now.
Alright.
Oh, bro, we got Rogue Clone in here. Hey, Rogue Clone. I just posted on my story, so it should show up.
We need some intro music, so.
Yeah. Get flagged for copyright.
Could you imagine? they shut down the sequence, before it really takes off. Closed down for COVID.
Yeah. Alright, well, I posted on my story, so we should get some people in here shortly. We're just going to give it a minute, Road Clone, and then we'll get started. What's that?
Rogue Clone's so nice, giving us a like.
I know.
Alright, I think you're undoing.
Huh?
I said, welcome to your undoing.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can give it 30 seconds and we'll go ahead and get going. If people will kind of float in and out like last time.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we should go ahead and get going then.
Hello, everybody. Everybody that's going to be tuning in just a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Otherwise, this will be a sad week.
And you'll just have to watch it on replay.
Yeah. And honestly, this is probably the worst week to miss, if I'm being completely honest. Because if you guys haven't really noticed, last week's episode was about as good as it gets.
I did have some people complaining, saying that they hated it, and that's
Oh, well, nobody that follows us, maybe one or two.
Yeah.
Because on the poll I did, about 90% of them said that they loved it.
And the 10% were probably the people that were complaining.
Yep.
I heard about.
All right. So we are gonna kick this off like we usually do. It's good to be back, brother.
Yeah.
We missed this duo last week, so you guys had to deal with me and my ugly face. But hey, I was telling Christian, at least every episode we shoot here, I have more and more hair, so my hair treatment's working, and I'm no longer the 23-year-old losing my hair, going bald. So that's always nice. All right, people, let's get it rolling. Update on new products. So, not a whole lot of releases for this Mando Monday. I was a little bit disappointed, I gotta be honest. Excuse me. See, this is why I can't drink 7-Up while I talk. All right, so Funko, they are partnering with Target, as they like to, and they are gonna be dropping, actually they already did drop, if you're a Target Red Card member, they dropped the Red Target exclusive Chrome Mandalorian. So that is now available for order for anybody who's a Red Card member. And that pop will also be exclusive to Target and available to the rest of everybody that wants it.
Is there a price on that yet? Or?
It's just going to be, I think it's going to be the standard $15.
Okay. $15.
I believe so.
Used to be pops used to be like $8. Like
I know. And then they took off. Damn it. Nothing's cheap anymore.
I know.
So that'll be available for everybody in spring of 2021. So right around my birthday. So that'll be nice. And then this coming Monday, they've been teasing another mystery Funko though. This one will be a Mandalorian, but it'll also be Target exclusive. It'll be a pop and a t-shirt. So stay tuned. My guess is this is going to be another Mando Monday release. So we'll see. I mean, I think think it's safe to say it's going to be cool. Maybe we'll get comp band. That was my prediction. I found it comp band. That's what I predicted on Kylo Collectors.
Now, did they say it was going to be someone in Mandalorian armor or just someone from the Mandalorian?
Just somebody from the Mandalorian.
It could be Ahsoka too.
It could be. Oh, if it's Ahsoka, I'm gonna have to line up a little early because I guarantee you, if it's Cobb Vanth, it's gonna be a hit or miss for me. I don't know. I'm not gonna feel like I have to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's Ahsoka, I definitely need to add that to my Mando display.
To your collection, fine addition.
To my collection. Yeah. All right. So some Star Wars Black Series news, guys. Here we go. So the new wave with the Dark Ray and the Queel with Grief Karga, Moff Gideon, that's actually on its way from China. So those actually should be hitting stores in the next 2 to 3 weeks, if that. So probably right around Christmas. That'll be a nice little Merry Christmas for a lot of Star Wars.
If you can get them and it doesn't turn into PS5, Xbox.
Yeah, that's
incident.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, I don't find it ironic that they're dropping it literally like right before
Christmas.
You need a last minute gift. That's for the Star Wars collector in your life. I already gave my wife my wish list of everything I still needed to add to my Black Series collection. As much as it pains her, she is willing to look at that list and consider it. So that was a huge step for her.
Only for you to open up clothes on Christmas anyway.
Yeah, I told her no clothes because I have a lot of clothes. I do. I mean, granted I have a lot of figures too, but at least the figures I look at them and I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. So those will be hitting stores pretty soon. And also the Archive Wave. It's gonna have the cool little 50th anniversary for Lucasfilm, the logo. Mm-hmm. That's going to be printed on them. Those will be hitting Target very shortly. December 24th is the release date. So hopefully most Targets will be getting those. If you guys need a DPCI, you guys know you can reach out to me on Cody's Collectibles on my page. There you can also find some dank memes. So be on the lookout for that. And as far as products, that's pretty much it. I don't know if I missed anything as far as Legos go.
Yeah, no big updates other than on the Lego web pages. They're starting to populate the listings for the sets that come out in 2021. It just says coming soon. You can't order them yet. Although on Black Friday there were some heavy discounts. I know the Tantive was on sale, I think by like $30 or $40. Like there were some heavy discounts there. Not sure if any of them are still going on. But yeah, no big developments as far as that goes. I guess if you want to talk about my products really quick, just something we're working on is custom Lego helmets. I know you can't exactly see them, but we got a Purge Trooper and we got a Darth Maul Mandalorian. We also got a bunch of lightsabers that are modeled after the official, models of the lightsabers that were used in the movies. So we got anything from Qui-Gon Jinn to Yoda to Luke Skywalker in here. So I have been working on that. And then I do have these custom Darth Maul legs. Rest of Darth Maul coming soon, but I am making a custom Darth Maul based off of his Battlefront 2 and Rebels Old Master outfit appearance. So do look for that.
Wow, the chat is dead tonight.
I know.
What is going on?
I do have some notes from some people though that weren't sure if they're going to make it, so we can go over those towards the end.
Yeah. Just a reminder, this weekend, if you guys didn't see on our Instagram page, we're doing a double dose of this. So y'all better get your behind here. Well, by here I mean in front of some kind of smartphone screen, device, some kind of electronic device. Because this weekend is the weekend, guys. I'm going live on Saturday. I will be going live on Instagram in Galaxy's Edge. So if you all haven't been there before and you live out of state of Florida, or maybe you even live in Florida, you just haven't been yet, tune in.
Or you live in California and are homesick because they still haven't shut down over there.
Yeah, well, that doesn't look like it'll be opening up anytime soon. So come over to Disney World. We know how to do things safely and open them up so people don't go all out of work. Yeah. But enough with that. So yes, tune in Saturday during the day on Instagram, and then Saturday at night it's going to be a later show. So any of you early go-to-bedders can probably need to kick yourself up a little bit with a Red Bull.
5 hour energy.
Yeah, 5 hour energy maybe. Make sure you tune in there because we're going to be doing another live show. Christian, unfortunately, won't be there.
No, I won't.
But I, along with another special guest, Mike, with Mike's Mashups, will be there. Him and I are doing this thing together. One of my buddies, really cool guy. You guys will love him. He's got his YouTube channel too, so he'll be on with me, and he loves Star Wars. So we'll probably have a lot of good things to talk about our journeys at Galaxy's Edge and some of the stuff that we noticed. So with that being said, it is time to move into, really, because we didn't see each other last week. It's more of a mix of chapter 12 and 13 reactions, but we're probably going to focus on 13
mostly,
because that was just as good as the other episodes have been. That's about as good as Star Wars gets, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I did like 13 a lot. I did see a meme circulating that was like Din's reaction when he's told he has to go to another planet because it seems like he's just planet jumping. That's only my real criticism. Did you notice the owl-like silhouette in the recent episode?
When you sent me that picture, I did. I didn't before though. You pointed out a couple of really good things that I hadn't noticed just watching it. So that was
Could have
cool.
been was it Moray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty awesome. I mean, is it just me or does it seem like Rosario Dawson was probably like the perfect choice for Ahsoka?
I think she did well. My only criticism, and this isn't on her at all, because I'll admit I was skeptical of the Han Solo movie. I ended up liking it personally. That was my opinion. It was mixed reactions, but I was like, how can someone else play Han Solo? And I ended up liking it. So the only thing that doesn't necessarily sit right with me, which we don't necessarily know everything went on in the background, is that Bo-Katan's voice actress got to play Bo-Katan, but
Ashley Eckstein had to sit on the sidelines.
Yeah, so that can't necessarily be a great feeling seeing some of your other voice actresses, some of your peers retain their role for live action and then you not get it. That being said, I think the Ahsoka we ended up with did a great job. One thing I did want to mention, unfortunately, one more bit of news. We did lose David Prowse this week, unfortunately. So did want to bring that up. If you are familiar with him, it's probably because you never actually saw his face. He was the man behind the mask of Darth Vader in most scenes. And then James Earl Jones went over and did the voice. And then, of course, when Vader's unmasked at the end, that's still not him. That's, I believe his name was Sebastian Shaw. He passed away, I think, in 2000. But David Prowse was the one in all the scenes where you didn't see Vader's face or anything like that. He was the one in the suit. So
rest in peace, man. I'm so sorry. We always think of James Earl Jones as the guy, which he is the iconic voice of Darth Vader and Mufasa. Mm-hmm. But David Prowse was the guy that suited up for the movie. So he really did all the work from a labor standpoint and giving us the stature that we knew as Darth Vader. And so that was a big deal. That was definitely sad to hear. So rest in peace, right? May the force be with you.
Yeah. So there is one thing is, remember 2 weeks ago we were talking about clones and cloning, and then the next morning they showed the invasion of the facility that was supposedly an outpost that turned out to be a lab, and there's some cloning.
You can't make this up.
There was some sus stuff going on.
Well, that wasn't even it. That wasn't even just it, though. We also had thrown around the idea of, like, when are we going to find out Baby Yoda's name? Yeah. And we know, we're ready? Grogu. That is his name. And we will refer to him from here on out as Grogu, okay?
I don't know about that one.
I will. I'm going to try my best because, see, it's been built up as either the child or Baby Yoda for so long.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've watched the last episode probably 4 or 5 times since it aired. So I have started to really warm up to Grogu. I didn't know how I felt, to be honest, about that name at first. I was kind of on the cusp. Some people said it sounded like a frog noise. I think you did too.
Yeah, I said it sounded like a frog name.
Yeah, and it did. But at the same time, I think it has definitely started to grow on me. I think it'll grow on most people that don't like it.
I'm just disappointed it didn't start with a Y, because we only know Yoda and Yaddle, and I'm like, it has to start with a Y, and I was going through a list of names, and then they were like, Grogu. And then like when Ahsoka said that, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, right? So now some of the things we did, so we see the cloning chamber, and yes, there was the guy in the background. I mean, everyone knows about that by now. But the cloning chamber was interesting. Is it could have been Snoke in there? We don't know, or maybe this is indicating there's some connection to Palpatine's revival,
which you could. I mean, it all is really at the end of the day. So I mean, because we know Snoke was just a puppet for Palpatine, pretty much. So it was just basically genetically engineering a body that could think for itself and talk for itself, but was controlled through the Force in the dark side by Palpatine.
Exactly. Now, we also learned that like the Palpatine we see in Rise of Skywalker is like a clone with the spirit.
Right. He's not even like the OG.
Yeah. Like the body's physically different. Now, on the topic of clones, we hear that, to me, this was something stupid I didn't even think of. Grogu ages differently, right? So it would have made sense that he was around during Order 66, which I didn't even think about. Now, we hear a little bit about how he was being trained. We don't know by who. And then we hear Ahsoka bring up Yoda. And I'll get to my theories here in a little bit. But it kind of makes me wonder, just because that he was around during Order 66 does not dismiss the case that Grogu could still be a clone.
Yeah, I don't think at all it does. I mean, I think based on, well, think about it. In 2 episodes in a row, we've learned 2 things, and I know this was intentional. Every move Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni makes. By the way, Dave Filoni was the director of this episode, which makes sense because everything Dave Filoni touches seems to be just Star Wars magic. So, I mean, when you look at the 2 episodes, I mean, I'm thinking first they start to go over the idea of cloning, right? And then they go into the next episode not only revealing Ahsoka, but also showing us that Grogu has been around, and he was around in Order 66. We get more of his backstory, and there's still more to be told. I think that this is going to be something that there's more of a story there. There's more of a background there that we haven't found out. But I definitely agree. I don't think at all we should count out the fact that he could be a clone. Back to what you were saying too about Ahsoka with Rosario Dawson. I think she's perfect. She's got the look. The only thing is, I do think it would have been nice to have maybe even a voiceover with Ashley Eckstein doing the voice, because that was the one thing that threw me off a little bit when I was looking at Ahsoka. And if you can see, I'm in my prime Ahsoka soccer jersey here. If you guys like this, by the way, I thought it was awesome. You can find them online, or you can go to the store down, I think, in Pembroke Pines. There's a box lunch store. It's kind of like Hot Topic if you've never heard of it or been there. But they have some awesome Star Wars gear, very trendy and nerdy at the same time. It's kind of my style. So, so I mean, I loved Rosario Dawson, the look. I just think if we would have gotten Ashley Eckstein's voice, it would have made it even better. And that was cool. But I mean, it's still, I love the robe. They made her look great in the paint, the makeup. I am disappointed though, because I am going to Galaxy's Edge this weekend. I'm hoping I can get my hands on either the Clone Wars Ahsoka lightsabers or the Rebels, and I think the Rebels one's going to be sold out as well, because now that we've seen her in live action with the white lightsaber. So
that was the first time I think live action we've had white lightsabers. So now we've had white. We've had the yellowish, orangish gold color that Rey has, green, blue, purple, red, and now we have the dark saber. So a lot of these colors that were previously only in Legends or in books, now we're actually like starting to see them material.
I want to know. See, I always thought. I remember when I was younger, before kind of like the pre-Star Wars in Disney era, I would play a game. I don't remember what it was, but I played it with my older cousin, and I always loved that you could customize a lightsaber. I always customized an orange lightsaber. So I kind of would like to see if maybe they start to do that with like an Old Republic movie or something. But, we can get into that another time.
All right, we got a question from Rogue Clone. Do you think he, I'm assuming referring to Grogu, has a connection to Yoda?
No.
You don't think Yoda?
No, I think Yoda's the one. So Yoda, I think, is the Jedi that hid him from the temple. Because you got to remember, at the end of season 6, I think it was, I think it was like technically considered the finale of the series at the time. Yoda had that vision. He went to go visit that planet, and he basically foresaw everything that was going to happen with Order 66 and the Empire's rise and all that. So I very well could see it where Yoda hid Grogu before the Jedi Temple was attacked by Anakin. I think it makes sense, and he kind of saw it also as the survival of his race. I mean, Grogu is probably, I mean, I don't know. There could be a whole planet of his species, but Grogu could be still the last of his species.
Yeah, it could be a Kia di Mundi incident. So there's another question here. I'll talk about this one.
Sure.
Who will hear Grogu's call at the temple?
He was hoping somebody would ask.
Yes, yes. So I seem to have an unpopular opinion. Let me talk a little bit about who hid Grogu. I think Yoda's a possibility. The reason I think Yoda's a possibility is he would have recognized the strength of this connection of the Force that his species has, and might say, remember they said, oh, the dark side of the Force surrounds the Chancellor, I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi. I think on that, Yoda could have went and hid the child. I also think it could have been Mace Windu, because Yoda was on Kashyyyk, so it depends when this happens. Yoda was on Kashyyyk, Mace Windu was with the other Jedi in like that loading area that eventually they get on the gunship and go to try and arrest Palpatine. It's very possible that they don't show it in the movie, or somewhere around there, sensing that there's some stuff going on, that Mace Windu or one of those other Jedi hid Grogu. Now, my opinion, people are saying Ezra. I do not think it's going to be Ezra. Reason being is I feel like just in general, the hype around Ezra would not be as much as Ahsoka, so we'd be kind of we kind of would have peaked with Ahsoka, and now the rest of the season would be going down in excitement unless there's some major plot twist. We see in season 1, the excitement builds, and like that final episode is just like, wow, he reveals the Darksaber. My best guess, I have 2 possible guesses. Number 1 is I think Luke Skywalker, if it is someone that is still alive, I think Luke Skywalker is most likely. Either just Mark Hamill's voice reaching out to him through the Force, if they don't physically show him, or some CGI combo, some other actor. Stan again, I see Sebastian Stan, his name being thrown up. But my point is I think Luke is most likely that someone that's alive. I'll address the Thrawn thing in a second. Now, the reason that I'm also skeptical that is someone alive is because of the way Ahsoka chooses her words carefully. So she says a Jedi will reach out to you through the Force. That does not necessarily mean the Jedi is alive. Okay, so this could be a Force ghost, this could be a Force spirit. So technically, we could get any of them that have passed on. And so I think from that aspect, it's possible we get Obi-Wan because Ewan McGregor was in his robes doing a test shooting during The Mandalorian, but he said he wasn't in The Mandalorian. That was confirmed. He made a statement on that. So I think it could be Obi-Wan for that reason. Second reason I think it could be Anakin is because remember Ahsoka had referenced Anakin and said, I'm worried about the anger and the emotion. So in that aspect, I see it could be Anakin fitting.
He took the words out of my mouth. It was like a revelation that just hit me as you're talking. I think if it's Force Ghost, it's going to be Anakin, because how long have fans wanted to see Anakin as a Force Ghost? Because we've never really, I mean, we got him at the end of Return of the Jedi once they, did like the revised Master Series of Return of the Jedi. But I mean, how amazing. I mean, like, again, I've said it, like, what a time to be alive as a Star Wars fan. And I mean, you're on a high roll here if you're Lucasfilm with The Mandalorian. I think it would be a great move if you're going to have a Jedi, meaning alive or dead. If they're Force Ghosts, if they're dead, let it be Anakin.
Or it could even be Yoda because of the same species.
It could be. I think it would be a lot less, just because Yoda has always been like the one to show up in Force Ghost. It would be nice to see somebody else because as much as I love to see Yoda, I would still think Anakin would have more significance. And we've
already seen Yoda Ghost in Last Jedi.
Right.
So
well, we've seen him in Last Jedi. We saw. I mean, he was like talking in spirit in, I believe it was Rebels. He was obviously still alive during Clone Wars, but yeah, I mean, I think that Anakin, it would be the first time we'd actually hear from him too, after he passed away from his Darth Vader body and became a Force ghost and turned back to the light side. So it would be an awesome perspective too, because we get to hear Anakin's thoughts as he's looking at himself after everything he had gone through with destroying the Jedi, and you know what's to come. So I think it would be so cool to see Anakin. In fact, my prediction is gonna be that it's Anakin.
Okay. Cody Bricks here says if it's Yoda's ghost, it'll mean they are related. Again, I agree with that, but I think it could even be just through species or cloning it, maybe not even biological. I really don't know what to think as to who it's going to be. If I had my pick, it would be Luke Skywalker, because as much as I would like to see Anakin and more of his Force ghost, and that's something we were wanting. I think a lot of people felt that we never got to see Luke's prime character. Like we saw him reach his. He went from low point. Well, I guess
high point to low point.
Yeah. He went from low point to high point to low point. So
he really did.
They might try and flesh out his character a little bit.
They're gonna try to revive that character. We need to get Prime Luke.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get Prime Luke.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what to think. I just think that we shouldn't ignore the fact that it could be, a lot of people are expecting a physical Jedi, and it could be a Force ghost, because they can't keep bringing in, as much as it would be nice to see Ezra and all these others, Cal Kestis. It wouldn't surprise me if they're dead by then. And the only reason I say that is because it's nice to be adding these characters and building on your story arc, but if they knew the Empire still had its grips on the galaxy, you would think that they're like, oh, I guess Luke is going to face Palpatine by himself. You would think they would say, no, don't just let him go by himself. That's the problem I have with that. And then also, I don't think it's going to be Ezra, at least at this point. I think he'll show up at some point, but I don't think he'll show up at this point. And the reason is why would Ahsoka refer them to someone less experienced or less knowledgeable? And specifically, the problem they're having with Grogu, with the motion, relates more to Anakin and also Luke, because remember they said Luke had strong feelings. Obi-Wan did, and warned him to not let them his emotions not to overpower him when he confronted the Emperor. So that's why I think it's going to be.
Don't rule out Qui-Gon too. Just as a curveball. You ready for this curveball? What if it's Leia?
Hey, Jedi Leia. It could be.
Because think about it, they showed her in a glimpse training with Luke at the end of Rise of Skywalker. Mm-hmm. So what if they threw that curveball at us and nobody sees that one coming?
And didn't you say you heard rumors of there being some big plot twist or some big moment this season? For me, I still haven't seen anything.
Huge. I think it. Yeah, I mean, there's rumors that there could be a big plot twist, and that it was very controversial. So whatever that is, I mean, I kind of lean on, if that's the case, I do lean on maybe the child starts to use his Force powers for bad. And that, I really hope they don't do that, because that would be super controversial. I would really hate to see that.
Cute merchandise.
I would hate to see that. I really think that they would ruin Grogu's character. For me, personally, they would ruin it if he somehow became dark. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, as far as that goes, I think if it's somebody that's alive, there's a good chance it's gonna be Luke or Ezra. I don't know who I think it could be.
And then there's Cal Kestis from the Fallen Order Jedi.
I don't think we're gonna. Yeah,
I don't think so.
I really am not feeling Cal. I don't think he's a big enough character in Star Wars.
It's a video game.
It's a video game, which it would be cool because you kind of link that story up with more of the movie sagas or the shows. But yeah, I don't see it being Cal Kestis. I think it's gonna be Ezra or Luke if it's somebody that's still alive. Mm-hmm. Or maybe what about if? I mean, there's rumors that Mace Windu's even survived. Please don't do this, Lucasfilm. Somebody has to die. when you fall out of, if you fall down an elevator shaft, if you fall out of a building.
Mace Windu's dead. He might come
If
back
he
as a spirit, but like,
Yeah.
you would think
Don't bring him back.
after that happening, you'd think he'd find Luke and be itching to kill Palpatine and Vader. Like he like literally, because he always had a kind of like a dark side aspect to him. Walking that fine line. You would think he'd be itching to end it. I'm going to end this once and for all. He wouldn't just let Luke like go off on his own. Now, this does make me wonder though, if Ahsoka knows of Luke, because they didn't really specify if she had an idea as to who's going to reach out, or if she's just saying someone might reach out. So that's the other thing too, is we don't know who knows of Luke, which to me doesn't make sense because they all. Fireworks went up. We see the end of Return of the Jedi.
They know.
Like you have to know.
Ahsoka knows. Ahsoka knows.
You have to know who. Well, that's why I don't understand. Cara Dune doesn't know who Luke Skywalker was when she was a rebel, and like Luke, there's some things that I'm wondering. Like, I'd like to have more information. Now, you probably already know I'm going to say with this statement. There's one other thing that was significant to me in the most recent episode. So first all, the hairstyling makeup lady or whatever, one of the people that work on the show said that she believed or saw a description saying that the magistrate was from Dathomir or something like that. So there's that. She didn't have horns on her head that we could see, but just something to bring up. Now, the other big takeaway is the staff.
Yeah.
And you know why I'm getting towards the staff, what I'm going to say about the staff.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think, is it because it's pure Beskar? So one of my friends texted me. I don't know if this is along the lines of what you're gonna say. One of my friends texted me, and I said to him, this was very intentional. This is why they did this. Do you find it ironic that, like, we knew Mando's armor was made of Beskar armor, but it wasn't until he meets the magistrate that we know it's pure Beskar. And she specifically says, when he asks, like, what would my payment be, that this staff is made of pure Beskar, just like your armor. You kill Ahsoka, it's yours. And then we see in the next couple scenes, Ahsoka flies out of nowhere and starts throwing her sabers, and the pure Beskar is strong enough to withstand a lightsaber blade. Now, I don't know if that's what you're going to talk about.
Yes. So what that leads me to believe is at some point we are going to see Moff Gideon in the Darksaber versus Din Djarin is in the Beskar staff.
Exactly why I think he gets it, because that's going to be the finale for this year. By the way, that fight
will
scene.
Be the finale.
Yeah, the fight scene that they've teased, that Giancarlo Esposito's teased, and we've touched on it in some of the other episodes on the Cantina. That's going to be what it is.
Because Djarin fighting is going to be an intense fight. You'll see, that's what's going to be. Someone mentioned Thrawn. I think Thrawn is mentioned in here to bring up a 3-on-3 scenario. So we have, we have Din Djarin, we have Ahsoka, and we have Bo-Katan. Now, we don't know if those are going to be the three, but let's just stay with me on this. We have three there. Now, the three opposites to that, you could argue, would be Boba Fett, Moff Gideon, and Thrawn. So I honestly think that whether or not this turns into spin-offs outside of Mandalorian or stays in the show Mandalorian, they're purposely setting it up so everyone has a 1-to-1 match. Because, you don't need two people going after Thrawn or something like that. I think it's purposely setting up separate storylines.
And Thrawn, I believe, is going to play a much bigger picture in here, because everybody loved him from Rebels, including me. And he's a great character. There's still a lot more now that he's alive. They're going to use him, and you heard it here first, to be one of the biggest reasons why the First Order came to be. You're going to hear it here first. Okay. I think that I don't only think that, I think that Thrawn I think Moff Gideon answers to Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm going to say.
And we have could Rex ever be in the show? Maybe in a flashback. Yeah. I think he's dead. I think he's dead, or
he might be.
He's in the Star Wars equivalent of Shady Shoals from SpongeBob, because this man with his accelerated aging,
Shady Shoals.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Yeah, he's either dead or really old, maybe like the shrunken up fish from SpongeBob. The why did he say one? But like I think Rex isn't going to be in it. He might be referenced. We might see flashback or something. But I think Rex is out, and I think the other false rumor is Sabine. I don't think we're going to see Sabine.
Well, there's some kind of weird like Jedi mind frequency going on, because I was looking at my notes here and I was just about to bring up Sabine. So at the end of Rebels, we see Sabine and Ahsoka go off. Could Sabine be a Jedi and she just tapped into her powers after Ahsoka taught her? And could Sabine be the Jedi that we see?
I don't think so.
No,
I think it's going to have. They saw the mixed reception of Rise of Skywalker. Everyone wanted answers. Where'd Palpatine come from? Now it seems like Mandalorian might be giving us those answers. I think that would leave us with more questions that are like, well, that's kind of an easy way out, just to say, oh, this person became a Jedi, and that's
could be, but there's a lot of speculation that they're gonna do what they did with Clone Wars. They're gonna do one more season of Rebels, and I mean, I think with Ahsoka, they were also saying that this showing of Ahsoka could be a foreshadowing of a separate season of Rebels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just a thought. I don't know if it's possible, but
yeah, no, I don't know. I do think so. I do think we're going to. Someone mentioned Boba Fett earlier. I do think we're going to see Boba Fett again this season. Contrary to what a lot of rumors say, I think we're going to see him at least once again. I don't know what capacity, but I think we're going to see him.
You remember my prediction? I'm still going to stick with it too.
Yeah, because remember the tracking device is on the Razor Crest, and there were I forget the name of the troopers. We've seen those robotic-looking troopers before. They were like dark
shadow troopers. I touched on it.
They're not shadow. They're not shadow.
Not shadow.
They're like
the dark troopers.
Dark troopers.
I did touch on that. If you guys were on the live stream last week when this guy ditched me, I'm just kidding. I did mention that the dark troopers, they were canon in the 90s, I think. So I think they're just trying to bring it back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And try to do more with it. I don't know much about them, to be honest with you, but I mean, they look like they could be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, what do we think though? Going into chapter 14, I gotta be honest, this is probably the most uncertain that I've been as to what we're gonna get this coming episode, because we've gotten Ahsoka, which we pretty much saw coming.
Well, how many more episodes do we have?
There's 3 more episodes.
Including the one tomorrow, right?
Including the one tomorrow. Okay. So what I read, based on Inside the Magic, I like to get a lot of my news source from there.
Which is sometimes reliable, sometimes not.
Yeah, a lot of the time I found more times than not it is reliable, but there have been some times where it's not fully accurate or it's kind of off. But this really is more of a statement than anything. It's not really like a theory. They said that if you think the past 4 episodes have been good, or we have had 4 or 5.
I'm losing track.
I've lost track. I think we've had 5. I'd like to say, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm expecting 5. Like season 2, episode 1, not this chapter 13.
We've had 5 episodes to this point. So they said that the last 3 episodes, they just said get ready for a roller coaster of emotions. So we're gonna see a lot happen, a lot that's gonna unfold. But we're kind of entering uncharted territory here, because we've seen Ahsoka, we've seen a lot of people that we kind of expect to see. We saw Bo-Katan, so we don't know where Mando's going next. We don't have a planet necessarily. I mean, I know that they're gonna try to go to that Jedi temple and put Grogu. So I mean, that could be where they end up in this next episode. But what's gonna happen while he's there? I mean, are we gonna get another Jedi show up? I don't know. I kind of like not knowing, to be honest.
Yeah, because previously, we've been able to predict a lot of things, and
this one has me. I don't know where it's gonna go.
I think it's possible we see Cobb Vanth again. It's funny as that sounds.
We could,
because to me, there was something about looking at him, he kind of formed a bond with Din Djarin, and I could see it mirroring. I don't want it to be a copy of last season, but I could see mirroring. Remember, he went back to get Cara Dune, and then eventually Grief. I could see him going back and getting Cobb Vanth. I could see him going back and getting Bo-Katan. I could see him going back and getting Ahsoka. What I think is going to happen, we are going to get them going to the Jedi Temple, right? Moff Gideon is going to be tracking them.
Yeah, and that's where the battle's going to take
And something's going to happen either on the way to the temple, at the temple, or after the temple.
And Moff Gideon's going to destroy the Jedi Temple, we think.
Possibly. I think that if the Jedi is still alive, this is going to be how they make their climactic appearance, is they're going to be being attacked and the Jedi is going to come out with a lightsaber. That's what I think. If we get a physical Jedi in person, that's what I think is going to happen. I don't think they're going to have Mandalorian fight the battle at the Jedi Temple and the Jedi not come in and help. So I see that happening, but I do think there's going to be some conflict immediately before, at, or after the Jedi Temple. Episode is going to end with them finding out what they need to in the Jedi Temple. We're left on a cliffhanger, like finding out half the information. And then the next episode is going to set up towards the end, the final battle, and then the final episode is going to be the final battle. And I expect that we're going to see Moff Gideon versus Din Djarin. I also think that we are going to get teased Thrawn's appearance.
We could.
And I think we're going to see Boba Fett at least one more time. Those are my predictions.
Just like I had said, we'll see Boba Fett when Moff Gideon looks to hire him. Or maybe even Thrawn looks to hire him. I don't know.
I do think that's accurate. It's looking more and more like.
Yeah, I'm. Remember, this is where you heard it first, people. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we could very well see the next 2 to 3 episodes on the same planet, since every episode so far, I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's jumped every planet, like you said, planet hop. It'd be kind of nice to see him be a little bit more stable in the last 2 to 3 episodes, kind of just to make things in that regard a little bit more stable. So we'll just have to wait and see. And like us, you guys will all be waiting to watch tomorrow in anticipation. I know that's probably the first thing I do when I get up. I might even do it before work. I might even get up early to watch it before work.
Don't tell me I'm watching until after.
I'm not. I'm just going to text you and say it was great or it was bad. I'm not going to say anything more though.
Yeah, no spoilers. People have been posting like their little custom.
We really do our best to try to keep. I mean, I love asking opinions right after it airs, but I don't ever want to post any spoilers until later in the week, closer to the show.
Yeah, like wait at least the weekend to give people a chance, because not everyone, and everyone's different time zones.
Yeah,
so
spoilers.
People will be up at different time. Like people, like I've been seeing people like the next morning be like, "Look at my custom Cobb Vanth minifigure," and it's like, well, great, you just spoiled. We get it. We know there's a new character. We know he's named Cobb Vanth. So, just be mindful when you're posting things or how you're wording things. Give everyone that same element of surprise that you had. Hopefully, unless you predicted it all, then it wasn't very surprising. But.
So, as we kind of want to start to wrap up here, there's a few things, and I posted this early, that you weren't going to want to miss this episode. So anybody that isn't in the live stream isn't going to get to see this. You might have already seen this come through your Facebook feed if you follow Inside the Magic. I don't know. That's where I got this. Like I said, I get a lot of my news from Inside the Magic. They're usually pretty good. So, if you guys haven't heard, this dropped today. This is the headline. Rosario Dawson reportedly signed on for a Star Wars trilogy. And we know that we're going to be getting 3 more Star Wars films in starting 2022 or 2023. We had originally said that we think it's going to have to do with the Old Republic, but could it be this is the direction that they're going in?
I don't necessarily think it's going to be. So I think Ahsoka could be a main character. I don't think she's going to be the only main character if this happens. I think. Remember, there was some pushing. Everyone has opinions on this. I'm not going to go there, but there was some pushing within Lucasfilm to have more female leads.
Yep.
So after, I liked Rey's character personally. I liked Finn. I was not a fan of Rose Tico. But I think after the, everyone welcoming Ahsoka with open arms, they feel as the most uniting and safe way to go would be to use Ahsoka to be their female lead. That being said, I think there's some implications of this. And I think what one of the implications is that means we will likely have a Ahsoka that takes place around the same time frame. So what I think that opens the door for is appearances by Ezra, Luke Skywalker, or others that are in that gap that we're missing between Return of the Jedi and and The Force Awakens. But the only thing that's a catch is these aren't episode movies. So you can't keep making it about the Skywalkers if you're going to go this direction. I mean, we have Han Solo, but like so far everything has been a separate story wrapped up in a little bow. So if this is a trilogy, it's going to be the first time that we have a trilogy that's not episodes per se. So I think they're going to have to make it more focused on the story and not the characters. That's going to have to conclude, sometime before the First Order.
If this doesn't get you excited about the future of Star Wars, I really don't know what will. Here's where they got this information, just so that they can qualify themselves. This is the quote that was written in the article. Insider Daniel Richmond is claiming that the actress is signed on for 3 feature films in addition to a recurring role on the Mouse House's streaming service. Okay, so that's actually not only movies, but her own show. So we could be getting both.
Or a reoccurring Mandalorian character.
Yep. Coincidentally, there are currently 3 Star Wars films in development. One being spearheaded by Kevin Feige, who, if you don't know who that is, that's the head of Marvel. Me being a huge Marvel fan, that is a damn good hire.
And me being worried over here.
And others in the hands of Taika Waititi, who, he directed Thor Ragnarok. He also directed episode 7 of last season, which was a great one.
That was a good one, yeah.
He's a great director. And the third is being worked on by the relatively unknown duo of J.D. Dillard and Matt Owen. So though I'm not too familiar with who they are, you'd have to do your research on that, but they definitely are going to try to take this in a direction that maybe more fans will kind of jump on board with. Release dates are already staked out for a trio of new blockbusters in December of 2023, 2025, and 2027. So Dawson has really inked a 3-picture deal. You'd expect her to show up in at least one of them. So there you have it.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is not only can that rumor not be true, but there's also been in the past where it's possible that she's only in one and then that's it. Like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that the stars of Rogue One prior to the release were signed for multi-films. And then afterwards, obviously, they died, so it's like, I don't know how that's going to happen. So I think, number one, it could be a deception, making you think that you're going to get more than one movie out of them, and you're not, just to kind of hide part of the plot. I see it being possible that they go with Ahsoka, especially, having a big-name actress, or at least fairly big-name actress. I just hope they keep it in a different direction, because I think a lot of people are fatigued, quite frankly, of 1 through 9. I mean, there's things that happened in those movies that weren't up to fans' expectations. So they either might be doing repair work or maybe in their best interest just to change up the time, which is why, I was saying, Old Republic would be interesting, because they don't have to constrain it and say, this is the starting point, this is the ending point. Starting point, Return of the Jedi. Ending point, The Force Awakens, right? There's some creative licensing in there, but they have a bunch of freedom if they just said Old Republic, and then they just have to end it by The Phantom Menace if it did run up to that time, which it probably wouldn't. It'd be centuries before.
Yeah, we'll have to see where they go with it. If you guys don't see it already, this is Lucasfilm trying to get back to the fans after feeling like they completely let them down in the sequel trilogy. This is basically trying to act as the bandages to heal the wounds.
There's also that, I forget her name. I think there was something called like Russian Doll that she did or something like that. There's that woman that is supposed to be directing a Disney Plus Star Wars series that said she wanted to do a female-led Disney Plus series.
We know that could probably be Ahsoka.
Which could be that Ahsoka.
Who else? I'm just trying to think. I mean, maybe Sabine, but I don't know if she's.
No.
She didn't have quite the following Ahsoka does. So
the only other one I could think of would be if they had one focused on Leia.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Because we have Carrie Fisher's daughter, who there's some lookalike. You could.
They probably CGI her.
You could figure it out. Yeah, you could figure it out. It's not impossible, I mean, with technology nowadays, but pretty much I see the possibilities being Ahsoka or Ahsoka or Leia, if they are going with a character that already exists, unless they just invent a character like how we got.
Which would be interesting, because, I mean, again, if they want to do something new and fresh, maybe that might not be a bad thing. But then again, we wanted new and fresh. We got The Last Jedi, and we got crap movie.
Yeah, I just asked that if they keep bringing inventing a new character, that they actually change the time zone. I don't want this to turn into a saturated time zone where guess what? All at the same time we had Ahsoka alive, Mace Windu somehow alive, Ezra still alive, and Cal still alive. It's
gonna be too much,
and it turns into not being believable. I mean, yes, Star Wars is science fiction, but like again, that raises the question. It's like, okay, well, they clearly have all of these people have run-ins with the Empire at one point or another. They probably know of Luke Skywalker. So that literally is disjointed to say that not one of them would decide, I better go help Luke confront the Emperor and Palpatine.
Yeah, if there's any character that could be as much, if not more far-fetched, surviving a fall or death of any sort, any more so than Maul getting chopped in half, it would be Mace Windu. I just don't see it. I mean, he got electrocuted pretty bad, and then he got thrown out a window. So if you're able to survive that, I mean, it's pretty safe to say that like nobody's dead in Star Wars anymore.
Yeah.
So there's two more articles that I'm going to go over pretty quick. Both are from Inside the Magic as well. They were hitting people with a lot of stuff today, a lot of good stuff. So one of the other rumors that we're hearing is that we're going to go back to a planet that a lot of us growing up loved, a lot of the prequel series kids loved, and that would be Naboo. So Jon Favreau stated, we're in a very small situation, and oftentimes we have a lot of characters in masks. And we also have a lot of digital work that augments things. So we're a show that's probably well equipped to be flexible based on the protocols that are emerging surrounding work restarting. So based on that statement and I think some set photos, there was rumor that the set photos contained a picture of that yellow ship. Yellow ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now there's something that's suspect about that you bring that up.
Yeah.
Remember, Padme was I can't remember if she was from Naboo or just the queen, but all right, she was rooted in Naboo, right? And then she had close ties with Bail Organa, who's from Alderaan, and we hear that Cara Dune lost people on Alderaan. I think that this could be a resurgence of finding out more about Cara Dune's backstory. I don't necessarily think she's going to be in the episode. If we see, I mean, maybe she will. I'm not focused on that, but I think that there might be more hints because we did hear Cara Dune was rooted in Alderaan. Skin tone matches the Organas.
Yep.
Bail Organa said we always talked of adopting a baby girl. He didn't say that they couldn't have a biological baby girl. Maybe that's his niece. Point is I could see Cara Dune being related to Bail Organa or Padme in some way, and that could come up through Naboo. Not saying it's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me. I don't think it's likely, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I agree. We'll just have to see.
Maybe we'll see some Gungans.
Well, if we're going back to Naboo, if that does happen, then we're probably going to get a Gungan. Well, I mean, we don't know what happened to Jar Jar, do we? So maybe he'll be like, he'll take care of it. Maybe he'll be the next babysitter for Grogu. Who knows? They'll land on Naboo and he'll just show up, and his ass is probably super old and like wrinkly and more annoying than ever.
In jail for giving rise to the
yeah. Oh my gosh! If you guys have never seen Robot Chicken or any of the Star Wars Robot Chicken videos on YouTube, I highly recommend.
I like when the stormtroopers are going up the escalator, like, my lord, my lord, my lord.
That's a great one. But if you need to see some of those skits, make sure you watch the when Jar Jar sees Anakin as Darth Vader for the first time. He like flips out. It's pretty awesome.
He's singing like Annie,
something
like that. Yeah.
You're all burnt, Danny.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then the final little like spoiler, I guess. This one's almost set in stone. I mean, it's not so much of a surprise because we got Boba Fett, but yeah, the Slave One, according to this article, is set to return.
Which I called during the first or second stream.
You called it. I mean, I think if
it happens,
it's pretty straightforward. I don't know if it's gonna be in this season, but we're gonna get Slave One. So now that we know Boba survived, we know it's almost set in stone. We're gonna get Slave One. So it could be parked out back of Jabba's palace. Who knows?
Yeah, like it should, like,
how cool would that be to go back to Jabba's palace though? Because it didn't blow up. It was just his
It's
sail
vacant
barge. It
now.
was the sail barge. Yeah.
it probably got turned into a bar.
Maybe
or
we'll see the
something like
ghost
that.
of Jabba.
Jabba's the ghost that reaches out.
His fat ass is bigger than ever.
What if Yoda's Force Ghost shows up? Yeah, we talked about that earlier. We think it,
Possible.
Ahsoka's language that she chose, it very well could be a Force Ghost that reaches out to Grogu and Din Djarin as opposed to someone in the flesh.
I just want to see somebody different if it's a Force Ghost other than Yoda. I just want to, because we've already gotten Yoda as a Force Ghost a couple times. So I don't think it would be Obi-Wan though, because it's old Obi-Wan in the Force Ghost. Like, that's why I don't think Obi-Wan's likely. I think in Yoda we saw him in The Last Jedi, and we had Force Ghost Luke. I think the most probable would be either Anakin Force Ghost or Luke Skywalker showing up. Or even, via space-time. And my off-the-cusp prediction is it's Leia if it's human form. I'm gonna bet on it being Luke, but if it's gonna be a curveball, I think it's Leia.
Mm-hmm.
For Force Ghosts, I'm gonna stick with Anakin.
Okay, so I guess the last thing I want to bring up is just a question to you all, as well as you. What do you think, if that rumor of there being a major curveball this season is true? What do you think that curveball is going to be?
Well, I shared with you, I think the child's going to harness some of the dark side powers. I think when he's put on top of the mountain, he's going to call to, at first he'll be calling to the Jedi, but I think I think that he could harness some of the dark side in him, and that might be something that kind of becomes like a struggle as Mando's taking care of him, is trying to keep him on the right path.
Okay. I still think the curveball is going to be a character getting killed that we think is safe.
Could you imagine if somehow Ahsoka shows up and gets killed, and then all this hype is like what the hell? She maybe shows up as a Force Ghost, and that's why she's rumored to be in these next Star Wars movies. So who knows?
Yeah, Rogue One says Ahsoka dying. I think it would be someone that you don't think is going to die. I think that's the prediction from me. The only other one, which I don't know how I feel if they did this, but the only other major curveball I see is if Din Djarin finds out he's Force sensitive when he goes to the temple.
That would be something.
That's the only other one I can think of as being a major out of left field, you not being able to see it coming. But other than that, those are my two possibilities.
That was a rumor. I mean, we know they're going to foreshadow stuff. We know that there's going to be a couple of wow factors that are going to be the rest of the season. But that is still a rumor at the end of the day that there's going to be some big, huge plot twist. It might just continue on the path it's going and just get really good at that. But
or we could see a Kid Kylo or something like that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Because if we see Luke or Leia or anything like that, we could see Kid Kylo.
Oh man, that would be really interesting. There's a boatload of stuff to see. This is why I said, I think on our very first episode, maybe it was the second, that this is the most interesting time period that you could possibly make Star Wars content is after the fall of the Empire and before the rise of the First Order, because there's so much meat there. There's so much that you can tell, so much story that still has to be told, that the kind of surprises and curveballs they could throw at you is endless. So
oh yeah, definitely. Now there's one more comment here that I don't think we've touched upon. Omaside said, I don't know if he still feels this way after discussion, but he did say he thinks that next episode could be a filler episode. I don't think so.
You think they're going to take it from the action, like the get-go? They're going to be action-packed, or?
Yeah, I think at the very minimum, there's going to be some battle that is going to lead up to him making it to the temple, or at the temple, or right after the temple, and that's going to be the filler. But as far as blatant thriller, such as saving a town from a giant space dragon worm thing, I think the random filler is gone, because we have 3 episodes left. We know there's going to need to be this whole entire the final episode is going to need to conclude it, likely with another cliffhanger, but it's going to conclude it, wrap it up in some manner, answer some questions, but leave some to be desired. And then the second to last episode is going to set up that that scenario that's about to go off the rails in the final episode. And then this one, I think, is just going to be setting up all the characters where they need to be for that to happen. So I think it might be a slight filler, but I don't think it's going to be as much of a filler as, say, I mean, I liked episode 1 of the season, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be as much of a filler of that in the sense of just totally being something random, such as town being attacked by space dragon worm underground. Like,
yeah, I think I could see it being a filler episode in the sense that it builds the bridge between what we just saw and what we're about to get in the last 2 episodes. I do actually think it could be that kind of filler. I think it's going to be an entertaining filler episode.
Okay, so we're kind of on the same
page. It'll be an entertaining filler.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be like episode 2 that I trashed with the frog lady and all that.
Oh yeah, that's another.
Like that's the one that just has. I mean, I'd be surprised to come by people that like that one out of all of these.
I enjoyed the frog.
I mean, I thought
it was funny. It was entertaining, but in the grand scheme.
But I'm looking at all 5 episodes. I'd have to say that was probably the biggest letdown. I mean, again, there has really been, in my opinion, no serious letdowns in this series so far between both seasons. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be episode 2 of this year. So
I'm more impressed with season 2 than I was with season 1.
And totally.
And the reason I say that is because season 1, to be honest, between episode 2 and like episode 6, I don't remember anything. They were like the random people.
Yeah.
They were hijacking a ship and he locked them in a cell.
Yeah.
And it's gotten to the point where I don't remember.
I don't remember. I'm totally with you on it. I don't really think about, when I think of Mandalorian, I don't really think about season 1 other than the last 2 episodes, honestly. I don't think of it.
I think about the one when he found the child and when he met Quill and showed him how to ride.
Yeah, the first episode, right? The first episode or 2, and then the last 2 episodes,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
that's exactly that's.
And
then
there was like the random like village that didn't have technology, like the widow or something like that.
Yeah, that was all right. That was cool. I like. You know what was cool about that one was seeing the ATS team. That was cool, seeing how they kind of took that from the remnants of the Empire.
And of course, Lego's like toys. We can make a set, which they did.
Yeah, and they made vintage collection too. I almost actually ended up buying that but I passed. It's too much. So
yeah, it's just, you know, it's not that they're not entertaining. It's just that a lot of the direction was like pulling in opposite ways. Where I feel like this one is more all the episodes having different directions or directors. It's not. The vision's not clashing as much in the sense that they're all kind of pulling towards the main storyline instead of, you know, I'm going over here to ride some animal, I'm going over here to save some village, I'm going over here. Like, I feel like there's been less side quests, which is one of my criticisms. It's still at the point, though, where every time he thinks he's getting to the solution, he gets sent to something else. But I feel like we have less side quests running in parallel now. It's just more of he's getting ping pong back and forth between different planets.
Well, and I said that too. Remember at the very beginning, our early season predictions before everything even started, I predicted that the season was going to get off to a much faster start, and we've gotten that. I mean, by leaps and bounds. Every episode has had some sort of action, whereas last season really wasn't like that. I mean, there were some you'd have almost no action. It kind of felt flat for me at times. I mean, I don't really even think it's in the same ballpark, especially now that we're getting characters like Ahsoka and Bo-Katan. I don't really see this. I don't see last season being even close to as appealing as this one.
Mm-hmm. So I would like to hear the opinion of someone that hasn't seen the Clone Wars or anything like that, because like we might be getting into it for that reason, but they might find them meh, to be quite honest.
They are actually. I'm glad you mentioned that. They are, because both my brother-in-law and my dad are kind of like that. Like they don't really like, they're not huge Star Wars fans at all, but they do like The Mandalorian, and they've. I mean, my brother-in-law hasn't even really watched this season because it started to fall flat towards the end of last year because maybe it was getting too sci-fi. And then my dad kind of same thing. He did watch though. He is caught up. He has really liked where they're taking it. So, I mean, now that I think about it, I would say they probably liked last season more so than this. But my dad still really likes kind of the direction the show's going.
Okay. My very last point I'm going to make, and then I'm going to call it a night on my end for comments, is we are also making the assumption that it's only going to be one Jedi that reaches out to Grogu. We could hear something like Rey in Rise of Skywalker where she heard several voices. Mm-hmm. So I think we're also making an assumption that she's not going to experience cycling through that they're not going to experience cycling through different voices, and then one of them is just going to become the dominant one and focus. Like we might hear a snippet from Yoda, a snippet from Anakin, or something like that, and then there might be a main voice or main Jedi that is the one that speaks. So I'd like to just put that out there that there's nothing that says they're only meeting one. I think it's likely they're only meeting one, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear from more than one.
I don't think this is going to happen. This is my last comment for the night as well. I don't think this is going to happen, but on the offset chance that it does, how cool, like just thinking of it from a fan standpoint, how cool would it be if, I mean, we know in Rebels when like Kanan and Ezra went to the Jedi Temple, that Ezra like was trying to figure out kind of his place in the Force, and he had to get his crystal. He sees the Inquisitor, and he envisions Kanan dying, and it's trying all of his emotions. I mean, what happens if the child goes into this temple, sees a similar vision, and because he was taken out of the Jedi Temple right before Order 66, what if he sees Anakin as like this made-up imaginary thing that's like trying to tempt him to play into his dark emotions?
I think if he saw a scary vision, it would be Din dying.
You think so?
Because of that strong connection he has.
That's right. Yeah, that could be it too. I don't know. I'm just getting too geeked out into this.
I don't want to, like, the child's clearly intelligent, so I don't want to compare him to like a pet, but it's like the same thing with like a pet around that, like a dog that won't leave you, like it's a Velcro dog that follows you around. So, I could see that being the vision if that does happen.
Very possible.
But that's it from me tonight. So
yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
I'm good. I'm finished with my drink, so that's how you know I'm done.
All right. Thanks everyone.
Have a great night and enjoy. Oh, hey, don't forget, tune in Saturday. You're gonna love it. All right. And I'm gonna also show you which lightsabers I ended up picking up. That'll be cool. All right. Have a good night, guys.